Hello there everyone, this is Mark3 and welcome back to a bit more screwdrivers, where we drive screws for fun and profit. Um, Actually, you know what, that derailed super fast, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Yeah, welcome back to Screwdrivers. We have on screen right now the Mark 7, of course. We know this one from last time. It's kind of chunky, but it gets the job done with its all-wheel drive and pretty decent drivetrain and stuff like that. But this video is slightly delayed because I was monkeying around trying to figure out what to do for the Mark 8. And I've come to the conclusion that I've kind of been spoiled a bit by the stronger engines and things, you know? So, I have some unsuccessful prototypes, Mark 7.1 through 7.4, before we hit the Mark 8, just here for continuity purposes, along with a couple of scrap things as I try to reacquaint myself a little bit with gearing and what ratio I wanted to try and find and put into it and stuff like that. So, some of these won't be appearing at all. And for this video for the racing, we'll probably bounce between the Mark 7 and Mark 8 as we go. So, it's the Mark 7.1. This guy is, as you can see, kind of beefy, kind of chunky. And that's because this one is intended to, well, you know the whole two shifters can use or bypass a mid-size gear thing? They can move or shift, they can bypass, reduce or increase their speed based on that gearing. This is my attempt to compact 3 of those into a tight space. I had to do that by, if you probably see here, I had to rotate part of the mechanism so that it's above and below the machine instead of in the sides, because I took one of the gearings and I slapped it into the middle of the other 2. So yeah, it's kind of big, kind of chunky, yeah. Believe it or not, this vehicle does actually still have all-wheel drive. You can see it's running all the way along here, along a central shaft, mounted very carefully underneath. This was a bit of a pain to build. But it's also, sadly, it's one of the prototypes that's not going to be shown in use because, well, it makes the game chug rather badly when it comes to trying to figure it out, like benchmarking it and then loading into the games. The vehicle of this complexity, with this arrangement of moving parts, just like it was causing the game some serious hang-ups. It didn't like it much at all. I don't know why. I don't know what's causing it, but I've noticed that with some of the designs I was working, they're just too big, too ambitious, too complex. There's ultimately was better ways to do this. So this guy is going to be sitting out on the bench, sadly. Moving on, that was 7.1. The 7.2. Daisy. Was going along similar lines. The idea was we have a bypass onto a big gear, then the bypass to the middle gear, so it's just like the Mark 7 original, but it has an extra bypass fitted in, which was actually inspired by Happy Ava's comment on the last part, which is like that I missed so many Top Gear references, like, oh yeah, Top Gear. By the way, I made a slight mistake last time, which was not. I've done it again. Happy Ava, no. Heismeister, thank you. Sorry about that. Jeez. Heismeister's been coming to a Discord. It was Heismeister coming to Discord last time and this time. Not Happy Hafer, because Happy Hafer's not on the Discord. Heismeister said, missed so many opportunities for Top Gear jokes. Yeah, the only real ones I remember for that one is like Hammond, speed and power. As well as like, come on, you useless, whatever. Insert name here. So this one has the ability to bypass the mid-size gear selection set using this shifter over this way. Oh, not here. Here it is. Yeah. So this allows it to bypass onto this, which is another big gear multiplier. And then that actually doubles back and connects into the output of the mid-size cog shifting section. So I can make the thing go crazy, because since it disconnects that while it connects that, that lets this entire thing is still hooked up. So that's why that suddenly starts spinning rapidly in the opposite direction. It's just like doesn't quite know what to do. Again, four-wheel drive fitted as standard. It's kind of big, kind of bulky, but it's also so big. It's like the game seems to stutter unreasonably. So it's like I would love to use the thing, but I can't really. It does have a very impressive top speed though. So yeah, that was the Mark 7.2. As you can see, 7.1, 7.2, 0.3 and 0.4 are all S plus class because they have the speed. But look at the graph here. You can tell something's wrong just from how it's done that. This one is... I feel like that number's exaggerating a little bit. You see, it's throwing up errors. It just doesn't know what to do with some of this stuff. So that's why these things are sitting out the actual races themselves. Moving on. 7.3. This one's also setting things out. Let's drop into here. This one, what did I do with this one? This one is... Oh, yeah, I built this one a bit back. This one is attempting to take what I like to do with the 3-step gear shifters and replicating it with the 2-step gear shifters to less than ideal results, I should probably say. Yeah. So this entire assembly here, it's got 4 gear shifters loaded in, and this is where I started to realize like more gear shifters is actually a detriment, as too many can cause increasing problems. And then on the back here, it's got a mid-size and large-size gear. They're just mounted on standard with 2. So here's the thing. This one right now is accepting power through the middle chain here. If this pulls back, it enables the smaller gears instead of using this one as a reducer or multiplier. So it allows the bypass on there, as you can see. But then, and here's the problem, if these are pulled back like that, then these can pull forward, so it removes the gear from there to there, and this one disengages. So this one is now free to derive power just onto the big wheel, or pull power directly from the big wheel, depending on which side it is. So, overcomplicated attempt to replicate the bigger brother of these little gear shifters, and had the same kind of stuttery problem going on. So yeah, leave that be. Shame really, but you can see it tops out at 302 though. So had the speed, had a lot of acceleration, decentish power, decent stats. It's just the game doesn't quite know what to do with it. That's the problem. And then the last prototype, the 7.4. Look at that juddering. Ugh, it just doesn't know what to do. Lower top speed, but it's got the same high acceleration and decent-ish stats overall, but I decided it wasn't quite what I was looking for. So that's why I've not done this one here. This one is a bit of a throwback to older things. It's like I was tempted to put together a more conventional gearbox, so I didn't have any dead gears in this one. I kind of succeeded, kind of not. It works okay, but there's a lot of random gear shifters in here, like there's one back here for alternating. There's one over here, which can work. There's one embedded in here as well. Just like altering the ratios and playing it around. And I decided this one's not really got where I want it to be. Like its acceleration is okay, but then it's just like, let's stop. Very rapidly shifting gears, and then it has very little power in the high end. Also worth noting, it's like also slightly front wider than back as well, because of how it wound up being constructed. But I figured this thing was not really good enough to count as a next mark. So that's Mark 7.4. I'll just pull up the Mark 8 here so you can see that at least a little bit. So you can already see a massive difference. That's not very smooth at all. That was part of the problem with it. But this one is a lot more steady, a lot more regulated, and it's also a smaller vehicle as well. Though its top speed is more capped at 147, it does have more horsepower, not as good as acceleration, but its grip is high, its mass isn't too bad, it's got strong downforce on it. So this is pretty. This is what I'm going to be using for my Mark 8 for this video. Let's go into the build so you can have a look-see. This one is built without any large cogs. It's medium cogs only. And I was trying to get it into a more streamlined package. So it's like you can see there's these mounting parts attached to where the hinges are. So it's very slim, very streamlined design compared to what I normally throw together in this game. So they took a bit to do. There we go. Cogs here, which can adapt. These are, by the way, is that wrong? I don't know. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because those two are on that one here. This one is loose, but that is because this one goes here. Actually, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, because that's engaged there. That's disengaged. Pull it back here. So that's just like a straight transfer through. But then there's one here which can feed into that, into there, and then through to there. So it's just like it does change the speed. I'm just not entirely sure how well it changes the speed. It's different. It is different, even though they look fairly similar. It is different between the two. The game claims there is a ratio there. I am not completely convinced, but anyway, there's another one out here which is offering a medium for a step down, which I added in after the fact for this one. I had the engine here, then I moved it forward a bit. There's a step down to try and get access to a lower ratio for better low-end acceleration, which works fairly well, kind of. But because of that, the shaft goes back over here, it doubles back, comes back through here, picks up the combustion-based engine, so there's actually 5 in this one, more than any previous version. Then it doubles back again into the front, where it's shimmied in through some cogs in there, into where I wound up essentially strapping in the electric motor with duct tape, effectively. And that's where it's wound up. That is held on by this hodgepodge of things at the front. So, you know, this is like very solidly built, and it was actually a bit of a pain to build. It took me a while to figure this thing out along with the others. But that's my Mark 8. Sadly, though, this is also a rear-wheel drive, so I'm not entirely sold on that versus the 4-wheel drives in this game. But that's why I said we might alternate between this and the Mark 7. Anyway, moving on though. We do have some quick comments from Happy Hafer on the last channel as well. So let's get to that before we start to the race, because today I'm hoping to get those better engines and gear shifters that I oh so crave. I want those toys, please and thank you. I want them back. You know? I was spoiled by unlocking them so easily in the other career mode. It's like, I want those toys because I know that they are good. I want them. Anyway, yes, last part. Happy Haver commented, yes, you described the Rock of Ages series fairly well, the racing part of it at least, since you also to build defenses to stop your opponents in between. Yeah, I forgot about the defensive side of it. You're also trying to stop your opponent's boulder with defenses. They're trying to stop yours with defenses as well, which is why your boulder has to survive. I forgot. So conflicts about calling it a racing game. It's a genre mash, I think, is probably the best term for it. It's a mixture of several different things. It's got tower defense in there as well. Most racing games have opponents compete with on the same track or about driving a vehicle for the racing. Rock Rage, you're not a vehicle, just controlling your character like one on the track is symmetrically split in half between both players in all but one game. All but one game mode, sorry. Only that last mode actually fulfills the criteria of racing, and that is not really enough to decide the game type. I think it's still a hybrid overall, I'm going to be honest. But I guess the game makers, you can get away with any vaguely applicable tag, even if the game's centered around it. Well, you could call it an obstacle race. It's just that the other team gets to set the obstacles. I guess that counts. and then my favourite bit of the comment, I'm sorry. I messaged you on Discord. When did that happen? I think you mixed up names, but congrats, you actually managed to make me choke on my water in confusion. That's quite a feat. Aha! Fear me! I can reach out of the screen and make you choke on things. Haha! I will become the ghost in the monitor. Don't worry, I won't emerge and strangle you or something. No, not at all. I'm sorry. I'm vaguely thinking of that the drowned girl, I think it is, on the videotape, who can come out and kills people that watches the tape for too long. That whole thing. Anyway, let's move on. We have got ourselves a number of races. We have got ourselves some tracks. Actually, Double 8 is an off-road. Mountain Trail Escapade, I think, is mostly a... Oh, it's a destroy an opponent's one. You know, I think I'm actually going to take the Mark 7 for these. That's why I said it's an option. It's my latest four-wheel drive one. Even if it's not quite where I want it. Well, this one's rear-wheel drive, which means it'll struggle, especially like on the dirt tracks, like uneven distribution of power might be an issue. So, Mark 7, you're coming back out of the shed, if you would be so kind. And we will climb the hill. Yeah. I'm not super fussed in any of these things, really, because I've never really used them much. But this is about progression. We need to get further ahead. I will have my shiny things. I will have my shiny things. Yes. Okay. Uphill. Point to point. Doesn't matter how I get there. I just have to get there. Hit the starting checkpoint. And then hit the ending checkpoint, which you can see all the way over there. And I'm free to pick and choose how I want to go. Oopsie-doo. Oh yeah, I forgot. This is why the Mark 7 was a bit of... was being rebuilt from scratch for the Mark 8, because the Mark 7 actually does have a few issues. Oopsie-doo. Ow. Ow. No. I've lost a few cogs in things. I feel like that's important. I'm just glad the game doesn't think so. You know? Oh, and that was a Unity engine stop. Yeah, that's what really all there is to it. Just go to the point. How did I do from that one? It said bronze. Oh, I actually managed a silver. Well off that because I had to keep leaving off the power because my car kept taking flight. So, as you do. But hey, we've got racing suspension. You know, sometimes I must try and figure out the difference between those two. Probably a good idea. Anyway, let's continue on. As I said, we would need this particular vehicle for the Double 8. Because this is just like, well, it's a race. It's on dirt, except for a few very tiny tarmac sections. And the thing is, you're actually driving a figure 8. If this race had physical collisions, it would be a massive problem. But really, this is more about grip and keeping your pace up, which is why I took the four-wheel drive vehicle over the two-wheel drive one. See what I mean? Lots of dirt and lots of steady slopes. It's like I want that even power distribution as much as I can get, and that's all I need to really win. Except for that particular checkpoint, which is really bad. And for some reason, the gold standard I think is using wooden carriage wheels. No, it's the rubber wheels, rather. I should pay attention to the track and not what my opponent's doing. Though my vehicle is definitely enough to get gold in this, I believe. I just have to not crash, which is a bit of a tall order. First ever handbrake turn in a race. Oh, I'm about to lap the bronze person, actually. Oh dear. Yeah, I just lapped bronze. Whoops. You know, that's actually another first. I don't think I've ever lapped bronze before. Hey, there we go. Smashed it. The Mark 7 was the vehicle to choose. Okay, for Mountain Trail Escapade, I'm taking the Mark 7 for this one because it's destruction. So I'm going to break some stuff. I'm probably going to lose wheels. I think that was my other issue with the Mark 7. It's not the most sturdy vehicle, so it comes apart fairly easily. but having all wheels powered is probably all to the good. Oh, oh, you're not going anywhere. Destruction. Yeah. Okay, we have access to the King of Kinetics, who has noticed that he has downforce and things on him. Also, double springs like that, I think that is actually the large off-road suspension he's built with too. Beating him gets me the stepping motor, which is like I set a ratio. I can trigger the motor to go between 0 to set angle, and then that's it. I think. But you know what? Should I try the Mark 8? I built the Mark 8. I should put the Mark 8 to use. Mark 8 does have a lower top speed. It has less gears as well. But it doesn't, because it has less gears, it doesn't have to change as much. The acceleration is a good chunk lower, but it also has more raw power available to it as well. So that helps offset things a little bit in terms of getting that down. The rear wheel might be an issue though in a mostly off-road track, if I recall correctly, but I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, King of Kinetics, I'm coming for you, buddy. Let's go. So, Mark 8, first actual proper event. It's a mix between the more slender build and having... it's got more extraneous cogs on the outside, just trying to fit things together, since I was trying for a more conventional gearbox pattern. I don't know. I think I still prefer the compactness of the dirty gearbox arrangement I've been using up until now. There's nothing wrong with the Mark 8 though in terms of its acceleration though. Oops, I have to be careful here because there's... Nope. Oh, my memory misled me. No. I thought it was a turn to the right, but that's a different race, not this one. So though, we're doing okay. Oh, almost went the wrong way. Oh yeah, this is the part that's kind of bad on this. It's a downhill, but it's got uneven terrain. And when did I lose a wheel? I'm not entirely sure, but I'm still continuing with... Oh, there goes another piece. Oh, and there's a collision. Okay, that's fixed. Yeah, I don't even know when I lost that wheel. It was somewhere near the top of the hill, I think. But that was a massive problem. Oh, no, actually not so bad. There's the king. Gearing and shafts just flying everywhere. I'm sure that's not going to be an issue. I do hope the game actually does model damage eventually more accurately, because I feel like spectacular pieces coming off like that should actually be a concern. Oh, he's got deployable downforce. Interesting. But we are in it for another round, I think. No, this way. This way. Yeah, I have more speed, but he has better flat-out control, because I am not that good at controlling. View. Okay, right. That was my first lap. It was not that smooth. There goes another wheel. Okay, Mark 8's front wheels seem to be a bit vulnerable. But yeah. All I have to do is remain consistent and I'll stay ahead. Yeah, landing for that jump is kind of brutal. Gears and things flying everywhere. So no major crashes this time, so I'm okay. I'm okay. Okay. King of Kinetics defeated. Honestly, I'm starting to like the Mark 8. Sure, it's rear-wheel drive, but it does have a smaller, more compact wheelbase than previous Marks as well, for the most part. Well, except for the early Marks. More recent Marks have been bigger than this one, more distributed, especially because of the extra complexity of the four-wheel drive system being installed. But this one being rear-wheel drive, and it's also got better downforce as well because it was built with the enlarged aerodynamics on it, so it's pretty even in terms of that, which helps keep it planted on the ground pretty nicely. And for some reason right now you can see it can't sit still, don't know why. It just likes to wiggle, apparently. Okay, right, back to garage. Right, one point on though, we got access to the area we want to be in. Da 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 da. Final section of races, not counting the ones that unlock after we defeat the last boss, but we can get new parts in here. The Gear Shifter 3. Better electric engines. Planet gears. Better combustion engines. Not the best combustion engine, but it is the same frame size as the bigger engine, so we can build a vehicle to house it properly. But the power density skyrockets as you get to bigger engines, so this is just get that. These two engines will be a massive power boost for future Marks. Then it's also bigger wheels as well, which can be very helpful in terms of getting more reliable grip going. Also, it does boost our top speed a bit too, because bigger wheel means rotation is faster, so it produces more top speed. Though of course it also means the engine isn't quite as good at accelerating the car with how that works. But we can't have everything, can we? So what do we need? Let's see. There is an A to B. Why is the turbo vault behind a transport challenge? Oh, it's that one. Well, that's a pain. You know what? I need to make a derivative vehicle real quick, which will be super complex, super interesting to look at, and won't be at all contrived. Who am I kidding? It'll be a contrived, botched mess just built to do the task, and that's it. And this will be its only use, because we don't need a vehicle like this ever again, as far as I'm aware. So, yeah, catch you in a sec. This won't take long. Okay, profiling. Just let it figure this stuff out. As I said, it's super complex. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, massive increase in applied force in the low end. Ironically, top speed is actually slightly increased because of the weight increase. I was not expecting that. But yeah, the grand super secret design is... I took a Mark 7, rebranded it as the Mark 7H for the hauler variant, and I stuck a box on top of it. Yeah, as I said, this is something that's not going to be coming up again, as far as I'm aware, so, it is a corner thing. But literally, transport my stuff to get a super duper engine. Ugh. The thing is, we have to catch it as well, and then transport it to a point, and we will get rewarded for how many actually arrive. That's why the box is really big, because what we're moving is actually quite big compared to the vehicles too. Give me the camera, please. Thank you. Oh, restart. Yeah. That wasn't too good, was it? The camera just didn't cooperate there. If anything, my box might be a bit small. Oh. I got most of it. Yeah, my box is a bit small. Could have done with being a bit longer to hold everything, but I am going to carry this much to the thing. The rest of it would have fit in here, honestly, but it piled up and so some of it fell out. And we don't have to go far either. I don't know why this guy wants his watermelon and cup boxes to be brought up here, but here we are, and we'll see how well we've delivered. Apparently I'm damaged as well. I'm not sure how. Finish. What did I get? 9? Oh, apparently I was slow. Let me try that again because I don't want to do this again. Okay. Level 12 out of 12. Got it. Only just though, apparently. 1051 versus 988. But golden. I don't need to worry about that. Whoops. Ow. There we go. A fitting fate for this vehicle, I think. Alright. Let's switch back to the Mark 8. Thank you oh so much. I don't want to do that again. Not with you. Okay, so. I mean, I bet you could build a really decent purpose-built transporter, but yeah. The weight increase put that down to an A-class from an S-class basis. So, you know. Anyway, career. That's the electric motor acquired. Next up, we want the... Well, I'm not... This is going to be rebuild even better between episodes, but there's like gear shifter 3. That's going to be a massive game changer. I don't remember this... I'm not sure which race this is, though. Oops, that is... Oh, windmills. Vaguely recognize this one. Fear my acceleration. Oh, my braking's not so good, though. Oh, I know which one this is. Just have to turn left there. Oops, daisy. And then we're back down here. And no, not turn there. We actually have a little ring around up here. Kind of like a game of miniature golf, though. This one. You know, I've been consistently surprised by the performance of the Mark 8 in general. It's not the fastest, it's not the best, but I've discovered this a lot, like fairly regular in this game. It's like you don't have to be the best in everything. It's just like you have to be consistent enough with what you can do, and this guy's pretty good. But then said, gear 3 shifter. Sorry, gear shifter the Mark 3 gear thing is amazing. You are a... Oh, you are one of the tutorial vehicles. Get the Integrated 6, please. Off you go. Bye-bye. Right. Moving onwards. Excellent. I think I will, for this video, I will pick up these 3, I think. These 2 as priority, and then Path Behind the Tunnel, maybe that one. But the engine and the planetary gears, I think I want in particular. The engines as a bigger priority versus the planetary gears, which I don't really use much, but I am thinking of maybe changing that a little bit. Could be interesting. Anyway. Oh, we have a long loading time there. Which race are you? I'm not sure, but I think we're going to be climbing that hill for part of it. Oh, Long Bridge, right. Oh, this one. Oops. I completely messed that one up. So one of the few races where it has a long straight section where your top speed actually comes into play. And you see my top speed isn't actually a strong suit of this vehicle. I've got enough speed I can accelerate to in short order, but flat out top speed I don't actually have much of. This is more of a handling kind of course. Also, it's a tarmac course. A proper track car would have been a good choice here. I'm right behind. I'm right with you. I'm right with you. Oops, just down here. Oh no, off. Yep, made it. You didn't see pieces flying off there? Not at all. Yeah, I think the smooth gear shifting acceleration is probably the strongest suit of this particular car. It's working well. It means my acceleration is actually pretty even as I'm shifting back and forth. Oh yeah, up the hill. You remember this one? This was like a separate race in its own right early on, but now it's just like a part of a bigger track. There we go. Right, lap 2. Bridge. Floor it. A bit of a crunch there. And the fact I got stuck on it actually means I've lost the gold. Dang it. The thing is though, I believe I was up against a much less complex vehicle. But I can't really get a good look at the ghost cars in this game, and that is a shame. Actually, yeah, look at that. There's like 4 straight engines. I think there's 2 gear shifters involved. Yeah, that's something I kind of wish you could do. You could have a look at unlock the blaze. Okay, thank you. And the turbocharger. Notice, by the way, it actually restarted the race while those were up, so I couldn't start. The opponents were cheating, I say. Absolutely cheating. But the supercharger is also quite handy for getting more power out of our combustion-based engines. So it's good to have. There we go. Gigantic bridge race complete. And gold. 23,000 credits. What am I going to spend on it? Actually, engines are fairly expensive. I don't need that many engines though, jeez. Okay, right. Mark 8, you are doing the job. Yeah, this was one of my early experience with the triple shifter. Back when I still, you can see how early I got it. Considering this is at a point where I didn't really have even other wheels. I was still on wooden wheels, so I was just like mucking around a bit. So yeah, I wasn't quite sure about my gear training and how I want to do it. So you can see it's like kind of odd, this thing, but I did build this thing just for testing around with gearing, as I recall. But anyway, I banish you to category 5. Yeah, I've been playing my stuff into Mark 5, game basic stuff into Mark 6. Okay, career, what do we got? There we go, jolly good. Next up, planetary gears, which is a long jump. Okay. Remember, this guy's got less acceleration than the Mark 7. This isn't the vehicle I'm meant to be in. Not at all. Right. No, I'm meant to be in that one. Thank you. Should be enough of a run up. Power! Not my best ever in that one, but I've done better with other vehicles. But it's like this one. Remember, this has got downforce. You definitely don't want downforce on a jump. I will take the silver for now, though, because we've also got planetary gears, as you can see. So a 1 to 2.3 transmission range, and what's unique about this is for a compact thing. So it's like we can input or output directly on either end of this gear. Which is quite nice. Very narrow gear mechanisms we use for this thing. Also we use with gear shift transmission module. So this is interesting piece to unlock. There isn't a bigger version, but that might change later, given that this smaller one exists. But I'm not sure what the ratios on that one might be. I'd also like to note it's the only gear piece in this game that actually tells you what the ratio is on it. So yeah, read into that what you will. One last race for today though, which will be this one. It's another point-to-point. path beside the tunnel. Our goal is to get to the target area. Actually, with that in mind, do we want to take the Mark 7 for its superior speed? I mean, so a third faster, less horsepower, but it does have better acceleration as well, so it can recover quite quickly if it has to make turns and things. It's just got those massive number of gear shifts in there because of the complex gear structure involved. No, I'll take the Mark 7 out for one last run, I guess. Let's go. Now, thinking of this one, you can actually go two ways on this. You can cross the river and drive on that side, or you can drive along the yeah, you can go either left or right here, and then your goal is all the way over there. You get your free choice. Would help I. Unfortunately, you have to hit the first checkpoint. So the game expects you to start turning to your left, it seems. But I think going right actually provides a straighter overall path to the target point, because you can just like, oops, bounce around uncontrollably like that. Yeah, that helps. But you can get to this area, and then you can turn and just cut straight across here, ignoring the bumps, of course, because the bumps are a slight issue. But yeah, it does avoid some turning later in the track, but it's a bit more convoluted to get onto starting. So it's, you know, it's a take or give it kind of thing. Now, I don't know how well that was though, because that felt kind of sluggish there. Oh, sluggish. 49 versus 58. You smashed it. Mark 7 smashed it. But that gives us the bigger wheels, which is also something very handy to build the vehicles around, just because they are very handy. They're a nice balance point between grip and size. I've never really used the bigger vehicles, but I do like the small and mediums in this game. But that said, though, we are going to end it there, though, because we are about at time, kinda, give or take. But we took the Mark 7 out for a few more spins. We got some more mileage out of it. We got the Mark 8, which surprised me with its general performance, but it does have that very smooth transmission gearing working for it, which proved quite reliable. But, that said, we have unlocked new toys. So, we need to do that. There's also random parts unlocked because I completed a boss as well, so I need to go around and gather those. But planetary gearing, which I'm just checking, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't tell you on the other gears at all. No, planetary gear tells you. So planetary gears is another option for gear ratio. The shift 3 gear part versus our shift 2, which gives us an extra in terms of our gearing, which is very useful for making more compact gear assemblies. Better, I say bigger wheels, which offer a decent balance between grip and size. So very handy to have. That'll help our general performance. Engines, we have a souped up version of our Turbo X200, not the strongest, but it's getting there. Of note though, actually no, can this one accept superchargers? Yeah, this one can actually accept turbocharge again. We can be fit capacitors, just like the old electrics 1.8. So it skipped those two. Then we can use this on this model again to boost our early acceleration. We also got the turbo, which gives a bump to high RPM on combustion engines. Very handy for helping with their low power output at the far end of their curve. And we got the Blaze 600, which is using the bigger engine block assembly. So it's a bit different from fitting the current ones, but it can be packed in quite tightly if you care to. So very nice stuff there. Nothing else was noting. So we're going to end it there. Yeah, look at some new parts in this one. Any more in this one? No, I've not unlocked anything in this one yet. It's all been on the main island. Yeah, I was going to say, are you sure that's all of them? No. Actually, you know what? Let's do that real quick. Let's go around and grab some stuff. $200 kilograms weight. Nope, by the way, my vehicles so far have been around, even the heaviest has been around the 600 to 700 kilogram mark. So a 200 kilogram weight, that is a sizable portion of my entire vehicles at this point. Oops, losing. I also noticed that the chest that all appeared seems to be around this main structure here. Yeah, this castle up on the top of the hill. So that's kind of why I'm just climbing up it right now. Yeah, see, there's one over there somewhere. Yes, I assume it's up this way. Yep. Shark fin! Okay, nice to see. That is a... It's like the... yeah, it's like the spoilers we've got fitted, but it actually helps in straight line positioning because it works on either side evenly. So if it helps to arrest like vehicles starting to spin too much and stuff like that. Armor plates, again, I've never used them. I don't know how good they are, if at all. You know, they're all close together here, aren't they? Ooh, interesting. Motorcycle suspension. It's unusually bulky for what it's supposed to do. It's not very good shape for motorcycles. But it's an option for making some different vehicle styles. Oh. The plant knocked my wheel off. Oh, come on. The other motorcycle suspension, okay, yep, there are actually two versions of that, by the way. There is a left and right version, so apparently they were separate unlocks. And then the last one, I think, is just up here. Oh, yeah. Hinge connector 2 allows me to, again, do a rotating parts. I'm not entirely sure what I'd use that for, though. But then again, I'm not the most imaginative person sometimes, so that's probably part of it. Let's go back to the garage. Is there any other things waiting to be found? No, that was all of it. Okay. Well, yeah. Fin, heavy weights. I never actually unlocked these weights in the tech tree thing, because to unlock the weights, you have to drive a vehicle of a certain weight, and actually getting the vehicle up to that weight is tricky. Yep. Both suspension types for motorcycles. Kind of odd suspensions to have, but they can work. And of course the armor piece. Okay. But with that said, yes, it is time to end this Mark 3. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Sorry the video is slightly delayed, but that's how it's panned out. Feel free to like, share, come subscribe. All that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, gives me those virtual headbats I oh so crave. And I'll catch you all some other time. Mark 8 was a big surprise, this particular video. A very good surprise, though. I like it. Even if it's a bit messy. Well, it's compact and it's messy. It's a different blend compared to what I've been racing until now. So I guess that's why it feels a bit strange. But yeah, I'll see you all later.